Welcome to Draw Process. I'm Mike, drawing pages of my comic book here in this series. It's weekly, and this is page 11 of First Sun and Sword number 3 today. And this is the finished page that you'll see me draw in the time lapse. The establishing shot at the start shows a lot of action. Every character is involved in some action. I find that really helps animate things. And then we're going to see this girl being drug off by the snakes, and Sword asking for a torch so that he can follow to help the girl. And that makes me think of something story-wise. It's always interesting to me to find out who Sword is. I'm still discovering who he is. I have this sense of him that I have to imagine how would he react in this situation. So Sword is not simply someone who goes around saving little girls, and yet in this situation he decides to do it. I mean, the reader is discovering who he is, and so in this moment he wants to go help the girl. Of course, in the next moment, you'll see that he'll choose not to. Once the conditions change, he decides to not go help her. And that's disturbing to Sun, and possibly to the reader. And so I like for the reader to get a feeling of surprise, of discovery of who these characters are. Not too much of one, maybe, though. I do find that there's some forms of writing characters where they try to keep you so off balance with who they are, surprised by how they're going to react, which can be very engaging, but it's just too much candy, too much changing. You might lose the sense of this being a person, any depth to it, any truth to it. So that's something interesting. And I've been writing the next issue, and I think I'm done with it. I've got one thing I'm debating on changing in the script before I start the penciling process, which I'm sure by the end of the week, before the week's over, I will begin penciling the next issue and recording that to be added to the inking videos and turned into these videos. Once this series is over, hopefully there's a seamless progression from these pages, these 45 pages, to the next book, the next book's videos, to continue coming out weekly. But yeah, I'll be doing that, and yeah, I've been writing, and that has me thinking about the characters and the story. I got a little stuck on what to write, so I revisited the big picture. How does this world work? What are the different power structures and players involved, and what is the sort of metaphysics, the rules of this universe, Lord Czar and the Lizard Men, what's going on there. I drew a map of the world. I just came at it from different angles, where I was continuing to feel like I'm on the edge of discovery. I'm continuing to discover things. That's where it feels good. So I stay in that place, and I keep writing, like writing it out, drawing it out, at times drawing, to make it more and more concrete. But if I get stuck in one area, I'll switch to something else and maintain that place of discovery. And then there's times when it's time to just start writing what happens as a script, in a sense, and I'll do that. And then sometimes I have to rewrite it. I realize this isn't going the direction I want it to, so I rewrite. There's plenty of rewriting in my process. But the important thing is staying in that place of aha, discovery, curiosity. So, similar to my approach to everything else in the art process, I want everything to feel like it's still fun, it's still discovery. The pencils are just done enough in order to ink. I don't want the pencils to be too refined, such that inking has no life to it. There's no decisions to make in the inking. Um, and even with the ink to the ink wash, I'm finding how to pass off the inking to the ink wash, the ink lines to the ink wash, where there's still decisions to be made at that phase too. And even the words in the speech balloons will be refined once I'm lettering. So there's still life brought into that digital step of lettering. Um, yeah, so that's about being the practice of my art, as I put it. Really paying attention to myself, what's going on in me. This is not ego. This is not, oh, pay attention to myself, like because I'm so great. I want to, I deserve this attention. It's nothing like that. It's paying attention to what's going on in me that isn't me. In a sense, we are strangers to ourselves. You learn that eventually in life, that you're a bit of a stranger to yourself, and you're operating. You don't know why you operate the way you do, how you ended up where you ended up in life, and so on. Uh, and you have to continue to discover yourself the same way if you were like married to someone for decades. Uh, do you really know that person? Have you lost any curiosity about them? You just complain about them, but do you really know them? Because why wouldn't you get to know them? You're just gonna fight with them to make them who you want them to be, or are you going to uh, learn who they are, and how to function with them as they are? You discover who they are, and in a sense, we should approach ourselves that way too. uh, I am foreign to myself, and I'm discovering myself. What's the purpose of this person's life? What things within me want to be expressed and find expression? Um, and what processes are unfolding in me that don't serve me, that I learned, that are automatic, that are foreign? And so always making space in my life to grow in my awareness, to make the unconscious conscious. And the way I approach my art is the same. Is This is an expression of myself. It's yeah, to me it's so similar. It's almost the same. How I approach my relationships and my life and myself is the same way I need to approach the art. There have been times when what I felt I needed to do was learn how to draw perspective better, learn how to draw expressions better. That's something even right now. Even right now, I do life drawing every now and then, study anatomy every now and then. And something that came up for me is I want to get better at facial expressions. At I can draw my characters with a kind of static face pretty well, but when their mouth is wide open and so on, the inside of the mouth, that's something I'm not as good at. Um, Maybe hands too, but even the face is more important to me. But I'm as I reflect on what my process and what I'm producing. I am paying attention to skills and things I need to learn. Um, but the most important thing to learn is not perspective, but how to pay attention to what I'm doing, so that I'll notice what are those things that are coming up that I can work on next. It's that way of being that will allow you to become over time the artist that you are, that you can become, to get what's within you to be able to get out of you, to be expressed. And that's like, again, the same as personal development. Um, as personal growth. In a sense, you're discovering the kind of artist that you are, and that's what getting really good looks like. Is becoming the artist that you are, not trying to change yourself into some other artist that you're not, but into the best version of yourself, right? And that's how my art has changed over the years. Is um, the reason it looks different is not just because I'm experimenting or getting better with different ways of drawing and inking more so. I guess there's changes in the drawing too. Um, it the changes that you see in the product are a result of the changes that are unseen within me. Um, the this the qualities I highlight about the looseness and the kind of cartooning, relaxed cartooning nature of the drawing, and the way that there's more structure to the figures, or like more anatomy that gets put in, more hatching and texture applied, which allows me to make changes as I go in the inking process and not need each line to be perfect. All of these ways I describe the what you see on the page is it comes from changes within myself. It's me trying to pay attention to what kind of an artist I am. I'm not judging it. I don't get to look at my art and say, what kind of an artist do I wish that I was? Do I wish I could draw like this artist or that artist? And how do I get myself to draw more like them? I don't do that anymore at all. Um, I've done it before, but I don't do that anymore at all. I don't compare myself to others. I'm just looking at how do I draw? How does should I draw for the artist that I am? Again, like I don't know myself. Like I'm another person. I don't know who I am. Who is this in me? And I'm just trying to figure it out and express that. That means the ego is out of the way, because however good I am, it's not me. It's not a reflection of me. I didn't choose it. I didn't make it happen. I just let it express what it was within me. And some people will like it and some won't. And that's it. That's all I got. That's all I can do. But yeah, it'll get the ego out of the way. And when that's out of the way, you're also able to see more honestly what's going on in you and what's going on in your art. You're able to look at what you produce more honestly too. You're going to end up a lot more full of gratitude rather than pride. I don't really take pride in my work. I feel gratitude for being able to produce, being able to create, and express what's within me. Maybe just symptoms of the path that I'm on. Yeah. Okay. What else? Yeah, I've been chewing on that for a while. I just went to some conventions, and it may be the only two I do this year, and they were kind of 2 weeks apart. And they're smaller ones, but it's always there's something similar, whether it's big or small. You still are around other artists, and sharing your work and all that. And for me, it's times like that. I mean, there was also a little trip to see some family and stuff. Very social times result in a time of like an introvert, I guess, a time of self reflection. And for me, to me, that's like saying that I'm very sensitive. So even though I can be pretty maybe seem stoic to other people and strong and like stable, um, I'm very sensitive. And so just a weekend of a few conversations with people can have me reflecting and need to like sort of feel this need to be alone and just reflect on who I am as a person, right? Like that's a lot. Of course, if there's times where I need to be social a lot for that's I can do it. If it continues all the time, that's okay. But I'll still have this drive for alone time and reflection that's heightened after time with others. Some people would say that's like introversion. It's that you want to replenish your energy through alone time. But I don't know if I think of it that way. It's just like this desire to reflect. And yeah, so I reflect on what am I doing, how am I showing up in relationships? How do I talk about my work and what I do? Um, am I living the way I should be? Uh, and honestly, like I don't think that I am lately. The more it's I have found the times in which I am the most aware that I'm not living the way that I should be are actually the times that are the best. It's the times that I'm growing the most. Uh, not yeah, it's good to be aware of where you're not in alignment. I don't want to say flawed because it's not about judging myself. It's just realizing that I'm not um, who I really am deep down. I'm not living that way. And so yeah, opportunity to commit to some new things. I need to prioritize doing some meetings with other creators, probably through Clever Kaiju, our Discord, um, the community I'm a part of, and do meetings with other creators. And I'd really like to do it in a way where I can show up the way that I feel inspired to, which right now is to educate and mentor other creators. Um, and and to teach a course, I think too. I think I want to it'll yeah, teach a course on drawing comics from a more cinematography perspective, which I find a lot of benefits to. I've talked about some of that here, those benefits, but that's a bit of a tangent at the moment. Um, and what else? And yeah, I know that I want to get more consistent with working out and taking care of myself and eating healthy. Um, I haven't felt as healthy lately as I usually do. Um, so I'm always reflecting on that. And I know that I'm just not quite where I should be there. I want to unplug more. I want to quit consuming information about what's going on in the world. Even stuff that I'm really interested in, like philosophy and things like that. Um, I'm trying not to just be plugged in all the time, like learning something, because then I'm not reflecting. I need to prioritize just being with myself, with whatever's going on in me. Um, I want to actualize what's in me. I want to produce and create, bring things forth. And something about that sounds harsh, like I'm not going to waste energy on people. They're getting in my way, uh, screw all that. Like it can sound a bit like that. But I can see that where this is coming from in me is not a bitterness, it's not an anger. Uh, this is love. Like, I want to express love. I want to give gifts to the world and others, and share and share joy with others, and just enjoy living and becoming, and seeing other people do so. There's sort of this energy in me that wants to be expressed and come out and give. So it's an act of love that I feel. When I had, you know, when I first had my first child, and I realized, like, this way that I changed, and I felt that I need, I had this love for another person that I was going to really commit myself to, really express. And honestly, it helped me love myself too, to realize that I'm just a person that needs that too. But I was able to do that for my son, but what the love in me wants to expand and be able to do that for in a broader sense. How many people can I impact? How much can I impact things with my presence, even if it's just some, a small life, a small day. I'm not saying I have to be famous or anything and impact lots of people. Just the people in my life already, and the interactions that I have. Can I impact them more? And this applies to the artwork. Is what I'm making impactful? Is it coming from this place of energy and love, or am I just trying to write a good story, how one should be written? But if it's coming from love and expressing that, then it's good. It's made sanctified and good and holy, and yeah, it may fail to do so, but there's really something to that. I think that it's more likely to succeed in the sense of have an impact on people when that love is put into it. We can kind of tell when something's done with love or not. Um, yeah, so it relates to how I produce the art. Yeah, so I'm going through some growing pains lately of just uh, how I want to live my life, and all that, and that affects the art too. I've mentioned it before, but I'm aware that as I with where I'm at in life, uh, maybe it'll change. I was gonna say just getting older, but it's possible that, when my kids are out of the house, that my time changes, and I'm able to have a lot more time for me and for art. But at least right now, there is sacrifice. There's a lot of sacrifice that goes into maintaining doing art. For me to I'm growing into only doing what I believe is really important. I don't want to waste time. I'm not here to have fun or be happy. I'm here to do what's meaningful. And with that sharpness, that hardness, that um, way of being that's growing in me, uh, I am I have to approach my art that way too. That when I'm making comics, it's a very serious thing. That I believe in it. That I believe in spending my time doing this as an expression of love, as um, not only self reflection, but a wish, a hope, a dream, something that could change the world in a small, small way, of course, but it's something that's really worth doing, that's fulfilling my purpose. Um, yeah, and so it takes that commitment, that uh, constraint on my life and what I do with my time. There's other things I could do that I might enjoy doing, but I don't get to. I have to remain committed to this. Yeah, and that's the way it should be. You'll see the page is almost finished. I was laying in the ink wash. I go in with multiple layers, just adding more as I go, until I find the levels I like. Um, the I was playing with this as a new thing to do, but as I did it, I found that this muddy look I do like. Um, yes, it's a little bit messier, muddier in a sense, um, and it can make it harder to see what you're looking at. The characters aren't as clearly popping off of the background and so on. But the messiness of it to me also lends itself to the mood. It adds to the mood of like a little bit of a sense of horror, that you can't quite see what's out there in the darkness, out there in the grasses here with the girl getting drug off. Um, Everything's just, yeah, a little bit uh, darker and harder to make out, and it adds to the mood. So I was happy with how that went, and we'll see in the next book what I do. I'm getting ready to pencil it. I'm not at the point of inking it, but I might choose to approach this slightly differently. Um, I don't think I'm going to stop doing ink wash and cross hatching with the nib, but I will. I will possibly just sort of simplify, like do less of the hatching and be more selective about where I place hatching and ink wash, which will be just cleaner, more refined, and it'll suit the story maybe too, because the next one is, even though there's going to be some horror or some darker, scarier moments, um, I think overall the mood will feel less so. And that's it. Another week down. Just so you know, like I record these a little bit ahead of time, but I put one out every week. So just so you know, today's June 15th, 2026. Um, and then I'll record one next week. And this is about how behind I am from real time doing these recordings. I want to have a little buffer in case I miss a week. I'm not falling behind, and I can maintain this coming out weekly. So forgive me for the lack of real time of this, but that's what works for me. You're still getting my spontaneous reactions here in these videos. It's just not, you're getting it on a week, several weeks later. But that's it. I'll see you next week.